Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Smouter. I am Director General at the European Network Against Racism, and I am also the Director of the ENAR Foundation. I wanted to first of all begin by congratulating Joël and Maya for the organization of today's conference. And of course, I also wanted to extend my apologies for not actually being there with you, even though I had planned originally to be joining you in this wonderful panel to talk about kind of institutions and the role that they can play in helping us to find systemic solutions to what are essentially systemic problems. Unfortunately, I've been called away at last minute for some important matters in Poland, but I just wanted to exchange some words with you because I thought the topic was so important, and that's why I'm here. For those of you who aren't familiar but with ENAR and ENAR Foundation, ENAR stands for the European Network Against Racism. We are a network of nearly 150 civil society organizations spread across Europe with the core mission of tackling racism across Europe. So we are the voice of the anti-racism movement. And we are based in Brussels, where we carry out advocacy efforts. We also carry out capacity building projects aimed at the grassroots organizations. And we are essentially the place where we convey what the lived experiences of racialized people across Europe actually is. When we talk about the topic that we're talking about today and the role that institutions can play, for me, the important starting point is to talk about the fact that racism is indeed a systemic, structural, historic construct which unfortunately continues to impact the lives of so many of us across Europe. And because of its systemic nature, it is very pervasive. It involves many different little actions, little cogs which have been put together in such a way as to create the systemically exclusive society that we currently live in today. It's by design. It has been built over many, many years, and undoing that requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of concerted efforts from many different stakeholders, whether it be public sector bodies, so your government, your national governments, your civil ministries, your local authority, your regional authority, or indeed actors like the private sector, so business employers, organizations like that, as well as, of course, the nonprofit sectors representing community organizations, individuals which are active in their communities. To make all of those people come together is not an easy feat. And that is why topics like climate change are so difficult to change, because to make a change in the system requires a lot of energy. It requires a lot of effort, which is spanning across the different lives and the different sectors. And that is why topics like that are so difficult to fix. And the same is, of course, and unfortunately true when we're talking about the lived experiences of racialized people in employment. And for me, it's really talking about kind of how do we ensure that the entire life cycle of an individual from early childhood, which is so important to actually achieve fantastic fantastic academic achievements, that entire journey from early childhood all the way to end of year to your pension, that actually that journey is an equitable journey. It's a journey where each and every one of us has a chance to make the choices that we wish to make and to succeed in the way that we wish to succeed. And unfortunately, society today doesn't allow for that. And the role of institutions like ENAR and the ENAR Foundation is essentially to make sure that we are aware of the mechanisms which make that systemically exclusive society a reality, and that we also demonstrate through pilots, through demonstrative projects, through advocacy, and many different actions and tools, how we make that society become a society which becomes systemically inclusive rather than one that is systemically exclusive. And we do that through capacity building efforts. We do that through advocacy and conferences. We do that through pilot initiatives like our Spark initiatives under the ENAR Foundation, which are trying to establish a pan-European professional networks for racialized people in underrepresented sectors. So those types of initiatives are actually crucial to demonstrate to policymakers how we might make that society more exclusive, whether it be through legislation, whether it be through public and private funding being allocated to racialized communities, whether it be through pilot initiatives which are targeting individuals like scholarships, like the Spark initiatives and those types of things, as well as looking at best practice examples emerging from across Europe, which are being witnessed by our members, which are being spearheaded by our members, and making sure that the rest of Europe learns from those. And that is what is essentially the role of of an institution like ENAR and the role of many institutions. We are there to be catalysts, catalysts for change, but also to be the guardians and the watchdogs to ensure that that change is effective and that that change is taking place all across Europe. It's not a small task, but it's a feat which is so crucial and important if we're going to achieve our shared objective of creating a systemically inclusive Europe which works for each and every one of us. So I'm going to leave it there, and I hope that these words have been hopefully inspiring, thought provoking. And in any case, if you're interested in working with us to try to build a systemically inclusive society, I invite you to reach out to me or to anyone on the ENAR and ENAR Foundation team. We're always eager to connect with new organizations and to partner with organizations if the objective is to try to make sure that racialized people of tomorrow live better than the racialized people of today. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your conference.